Byleth is the player character of Fire Emblem Three Houses, and like the last several FE self-inserts, has a male and female variant to account for that. Both versions have their ups and downs, so let's not beat around the bush and jump straight into it. To start, let's look at the male variant. This version of Byleth is, all things considered, fairly sensibly dressed. He's a mercenary, and was practically raised on the battlefield. His attire consists mostly of loose-fitting clothes made of what appears to be cloth, with segments of armor to protect his hands, forearms, elbows, shoulders, knees, and abdomen. The ensemble looks decently protective, but not outright restrictive, even putting aside the weird jacket cape. More on that later. Byleth's color scheme is primarily dark gray and black, which makes sense with his whole Ashen Demon title. It could definitely serve to evoke the image of a dark knight of sorts on the battlefield, although there are tinges of pink here and there for some inexplicable reason. I guess that's there to help break up the design so Byleth doesn't come off as being too monotone, though what this pattern near the neck is supposed to represent, I have no idea. Moving on to the female variant, we certainly get a female variant, alright. Femme Byleth sports the same color scheme as her male counterpart, but notably goes out of her way to show a lot more skin, because of course she does. I do like the addition of giving her an actual breastplate, but it feels kind of pointless when it doesn't completely cover her chest and also gives her a random stomach window for no reason. It's like she's asking an archer to shoot just above the boobs or a spearman to impale her gut. On top of that, female Byleth is running around the battlefield with ornately patterned stockings that should be easily ripped, black short shorts, a single knee pad for whatever reason, and mother frickin' heels! Also, for whatever reason, she's wearing the same arm protection as her male variant but doesn't have sleeves like he does, so the metal is just pressing against her bare skin. At the very least, that has to be mildly uncomfortable. Putting all of that aside, though, both male and female Byleth do suffer from what I feel to be some superfluous design elements. Most notable would have to be the cape jacket, which I've always had mixed feelings about personally. I've never outright hated it, but I do question why it's there. I guess you can make the argument that it gives them a slightly academic look, though that only really makes sense for after they become a professor. Another point of confusion for me is the little golden talisman they both seem to carry, around the midriff for male Byleth and from the neck for female Byleth. It feels like some kind of lucky or even religious charm, but I don't think either one really makes sense for either iteration of Byleth, given that they're not really the sort to rely on luck, and they didn't even know about Fodlan's religion before coming to Garreg Mach. Lastly, there's the dagger. On the surface, it sort of makes sense for Byleth to have it. They are a mercenary, so having a backup weapon they carry at all times does seem to fit. However, given the fact that they are literally never shown to use it in any capacity in any game they appear in, I feel like there's ultimately no real reason for it to be there. You'd think a detail like that would be more appropriate for Edelgard, given her story. The final point of note is the hair color, which starts as a dark bluish green before becoming light green later on. This, I think, is a somewhat clever allusion to Fire Emblem's trend of having protagonists with blue or bluish hair, while also serving as a subtle indicator of Byleth's true nature. They are, after all, linked to Sothis and the Nabateans, for whom green hair is a common trait. Having it barely green at first and then becoming a lighter shade after fusing with the goddess is a clever little touch. As a whole, Byleth's design is a mixed bag. The male variant is serviceable. There is room for improvement, but it does the job well enough. He gets a C. The female variant, sadly, falls victim to a lot of unfortunate design cliches that drag her down from her male counterpart. She gets a D. Honestly, I kinda miss when avatars could just be given the same outfit rather than radically different designs just because of their gender.